to tell what it is from that, huh? Short little intro. This is Keep On Tryin. Timothy B. Schmidt, in his later days with Poco, 1975, they put out this great album, Head Over Heels. And, they went through a lot of different phases. And Timothy really auditioned for the band before they started in 1968. And didn't get the job. They gave it to Randy Meisner. Richie Furay, kind of in charge of the whole thing, hired Meisner as a bass player and singer. And after an album or two, I think just one, Randy left, and they called up number two. Timothy B. Schmidt joined the band and was with them for 9 or 10 albums until about 1977, when he left to replace Randy Meisner in the Eagles. I'm sure some of you know that story, so I won't go too far into it, but interesting little coincidence in the life of Timothy Schmidt. Well known for his beautiful tenor voice, bass playing. Still, if and when any configuration of the Eagles get together, he is there. Well, this song, a couple of things we're going to do in this. It's a very simple strumming song. It's just got chords in the key of C. We're going to see C's, G's, F's. And he plays his F's usually either with his thumb wrapped around or doesn't bother with the F in the bass. So you can play the F either as a full bar and get the F really cleanly. You could play it with, and even just let C be the bass note for it if you're having trouble with that bar chord. Or if you can play full bars, I really prefer it with the F. And then with the bar. Prefer the F with the bar. And two of the minor chords in the key, A minor and E minor. So you should know all those chords. We are going to talk about first the chord progression, which is fairly basic but kind of cool, and I really encourage you to listen to it first and figure out as much as you can, knowing that it's only got those 5 chords in it: C, F, G, A minor, and E minor. And then there are some nice little passing bass things, so we'll be talking about this. And that's about all that Timothy throws in there when he plays this. So there are a couple of videos of him doing this with Ringo Starr and his all-star band. He had some great backup singers, Todd Rundgren, and that was in the 90s. The Eagles did this a little bit in some of their 80s tours. And the one unusual thing about the Poco recording and the way the live version of Timothy doing it with Ringo's group is the guitar is tuned down a half step. So if you want to go try to figure this out by yourself, you either have to tune your guitar down a half step or just pay attention and play everything a half step lower. But that's my first advice for this is do the best you can to figure out the chord progression. And you know what? Matter of fact, in the next segment, I will play through the whole thing. That's a great idea, Neil. I should lay these things out better. In the next segment, I'll strum through it out of sight of the camera, and you can just see if you can figure out what's going on. It'd be easier than tuning your guitar down a half step and seeing what's happening in there. So, let's see. Did I tell you everything I needed to about this song? It's a really interesting form. We have a verse, and then we have kind of what I'm calling a pre-chorus, although it happens, you could just consider it part of the chorus. But we have a little 8-measure phrase that sets up the chorus, and then we get into the hook. I'll keep on trying, I'm through with lying, all that stuff. So, okay, I think that's it. In the next segment, I will strum through this and see if you can figure out the progression. In the strumming segment, I talked a little bit about some options with alternate bass notes. Hammer-ons on the second bass note, on C's and G's. But the other thing that is typically used in songs, in country-type songs, is passing bass notes or connecting bass notes leading from one chord to another. Now, there are some really obvious ones that happen in here, and I have many of them marked in the tab. But anytime you're going from A minor to F, the bass notes are 2 notes apart. Well, 1 note apart. There's 1 note between them. And so this is when you're trying to work on little passing bass things, you have to decide how many notes do I want to play, do I either want to play or need to play in there. Now, so you think about the root or the first bass note of each chord, in this case A, is the bass note for our A minor chord, and F is the bass note for that. Well, for F. In the scale, we only have one note between A and F, descending, and that would be G. So a really common thing to do is just put the G in the bass on the second bass note of our A minor chord. So instead of this to the F, we do this. Now what I did there was put the G in the bass on beat 3. So you could do that anytime you're going from A minor to F. But you also have the option of putting 2 bass notes in on beats 3 and 4, re-hitting the first bass note on 3.